discover the complex bond between Queen Elizabeth II and Princess Diana, marked by silence, love, and tragedy that reshaped the British monarchy forever. Queen Elizabeth II and Princess Diana, two of the most iconic women of the 20th century, shared a bond shaped more by duty than affection. To the world, they were united under the banner of royalty, but beneath the surface, theirs was a story marked by restraint, distance, and silent expectation. Behind the palace walls, a silent tension brewed. Two women divided not only by age and perspective, but by tradition and the crushing weight of the crown. Elizabeth represented the old guard, unshaken by centuries of protocol. Diana represented change, the voice of warmth and vulnerability in a world that craved authenticity. Their differences made them a study in contrast, and the world could not look away. Elizabeth had been raised in an atmosphere of discipline. From childhood, she understood that monarchy was not about personal happiness, but about survival. Her every action was measured, her words calculated, her emotions carefully hidden from view. To her, silence and endurance were the crown's greatest shields. Diana, however, came from a different mold. Known as the People's Princess, she radiated openness and compassion. She hugged children in hospitals, shook hands with AIDS patients, and spoke candidly about her struggles. Where Elizabeth stood for tradition, Diana represented humanity. And while this contrast endeared her to the public, it only deepened the distance between her and the Queen. In private, these worlds often collided. Elizabeth's stoic silence met Diana's raw emotion, leaving words unspoken and wounds unhealed. Misunderstandings lingered in the quiet halls of Buckingham Palace, where tradition often won over tenderness. For Diana, this was suffocating. For Elizabeth, it was necessary. And yet, to the outside world, they stood side by side. The Queen and the Princess, two women bound together by the monarchy, symbols of an institution both admired and criticized. Photographs of them together painted a picture of unity, but those who looked closer could sense the space between them, a silence louder than words. As Diana's marriage to Prince Charles began to unravel, the abyss between Queen and Princess widened further. Diana spoke openly about her pain, breaking the royal code of silence. For Elizabeth, this was unsettling, even dangerous. For Diana, it was survival. The monarchy, once untouchable, suddenly seemed fragile under the weight of personal truths revealed to the world. Then, tragedy struck in 1997. Diana's sudden death in Paris sent shockwaves across the globe. Crowds flooded the streets with flowers, tears, and anger, not just at the loss of their beloved princess, but at the silence of the monarchy. For days, the Queen remained hidden at Balmoral, protecting her grandsons. But to the grieving nation, this absence felt like coldness. The monarchy faced its greatest crisis in decades. Finally, Elizabeth stepped forward. She returned to London, addressed the nation live on television, and spoke not as a distant monarch, but as a grandmother mourning with her people. In that moment, she acknowledged Diana's unmatched legacy. It was a rare glimpse of humanity from a queen who had built her reign on restraint. And though the distance between them had never fully closed, Diana's impact forced Elizabeth to adapt, reshaping how the monarchy would face the modern world. The story of Elizabeth and Diana is not one of simple affection, but of complexity, silence, and legacy. It reminds us that even within the walls of palaces, relationships are fragile, imperfect, and deeply human. Stay with us as we continue to uncover more untold stories of mothers and children in royalty who shaped history. Subscribe now for the next journey.